Good morning and welcome to Inside Running on Tab Radio Racing and Sport. Our team will evaluate each race and update Tab Touch markets on the premier meeting of the week. Inside Running is proudly sponsored by Top of the Ladder Gutter Cleaning. Don't risk your safety. Contact the professionals. Contact Top of the Ladder Gutter Cleaning today for a free, no obligation quote. topoftheladder.com.au. We trust you will enjoy this edition of Inside Running. Proudly sponsored by Top of the Ladder Gutter Cleaning.
And two words could sum up the weather in Perth. I can only use one of them, hot. I can use both words for Bunbury. Less hot, 36 today, and fine and sunny the conditions as they host the 9-race program featuring the Cyril Flower, the first event at 12:29. The Inside Running team are here with Captain Darren McAullay. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Matty, and welcome everybody. Great to have your company on this Saturday morning for Inside Running. Of course, we take our Metro Prime meeting down to the southwest with the extreme weather condition. Another 41-degree day, of course, and earlier this week the announcement made to switch Ascot down there to Bunbury. Bunbury certainly will be on the cooler side there, 36 degrees forecast as opposed to 41 here. But what it has done, it has resulted in numerous scratchings, and this meeting has been greatly depleted by a number of important scratchings right through the meeting. Of course, the feature is the Cyril Flower, but the day comes up with no less than 5 Pay 1-2 races. So it's disappointing from that point of view, but it's also at the same time, I think, positive the fact that we do have a race meeting to attend here today, and then another, of course, at Pinjarra, where the conditions get a little cooler tomorrow, and that transferred meeting from last week, Geraldton heading off to a Monday. Digby Beacham is with us this morning, and also Big Red is in the studio as well. Michael Heaton, good morning to both of you, suitably addressed for the warm conditions here as we stay as cool as we can. Getting pretty warm at the moment, already 31.5 degrees in Perth, so it's certainly sneaking up there. It's going to be an awfully hot day in the metropolitan area. But a number of trainers have made the decision that they're going to err on the better side of caution from the metro area and not head south.
Correct. Good morning, Darren, Michael, Matt and listeners. Yeah, look, that's indeed the case, and you can understand why. Certainly, though, as we sit here this morning, we are going to have a meeting as opposed to what we were thinking perhaps earlier in the weekend. It looks like Pinjarra will go ahead as well tomorrow with somewhat of a cooler day forecast, but it beats the alternative of no racing. Michael, good morning.
Morning, boys. Morning, listeners. Absolutely. It's almost a case of damned if you do, damned if you don't, doesn't it? It's a tricky one, but I personally like the fact that we're racing today and people have the option. If you don't want to go, you scratch. If you want to race, you race.
Well, I agree. I think that is it. Good for those trainers down there that don't have to travel, don't have to put their horse on a float to get down there. For those in the southwest region or even down towards the I guess Lark Hill region, where they've only got a very short trip down to get to Bunbury. But I guess the conversation piece has been, and if you haven't heard it through the course of the week, within the industry and the network of the industry is the call, the cry for lights to go up to Belmont Park, I would think at the moment. That's where a lot of the chatter has been coming from a lot of industry heads at the moment. Is that the salvation, do you think, for situations like this down the track?
Well, it wouldn't hurt.
Should it have been implemented many years ago?
Would have.
I know.
I think Bunbury has lights from memory, but Bunbury wouldn't have helped the situation anyway because horses would still have to travel.
That's exactly the reason. So it's certainly going to gain a lot of discussion. I know that there are major stakeholders within this industry that are calling for this to be now looked at and the investment made into lighting up one of the tracks, because as we touched upon too, Diggs, I don't think you need to be Albert Einstein to work out that this is going to be the norm.
Correct.
In future years. There will be more and more of these meetings that have been either rescheduled or have had to be transferred or have been simply called off because of the hot weather. We're going to lose many, many more meetings through the summer and the autumn period, as opposed to what we ever will through a very wet winter. So this is certainly becoming a very big discussion point out there. I know that of those that I've been speaking with, and there are many in administration that are having the same discussion. And when they're going to have a look at this, I think there was a paper put together by Perth Racing on this going back some years ago.
A while ago now.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if it holds up. that paper and maybe the cost. I mean, there's all sorts of discussions about the viability and whether or not you could tap in and get the same sort of a turnover if you're betting or not co-mingling, but with Hong Kong, because that would be the only option. The eastern states would be virtually negligible, I would think, for night racing, would it not? At the 3-hour time difference we run, there'd be all of those sorts of things that needed.
There's a lot to be factored in.
Absolutely. Let's get through to it. We've got an early start. Hit the road today, nice and early, Michael, to get down to Bunbury. So our man on buttons this morning, Matty McDermott, they're keen to have a look at the markets. We'll go through the changes, and there are quite a few, so have the pencils sharpened up because the scratchings are many for the day. It's a good 4, the track, good 4, rail true. And the opening race is a pay 1-2, a field of 6 to do battle in the Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap. Race 2, the Greenfields Lodge Handicap. And at the bottom, number 7, So War comes out, leaving us with 6 to go there. The opening 2 races pay 1-2. That could be said of the third as well. The Bank of Queensland Bunbury Handicap over 1,000. A very good morning to Mark Warren. Shell Bell, Salt Lake Shake are the scratchings out of race number 3 in Bunbury today. So we're down to 5 running only in the third. Race 4, the Nixon Electrical Plate over 1,100 metres. And here it's number 2, Rise to Glory. That has been withdrawn. Rise to Glory out there. Race 5, the Silverado Bunbury Handicap. And this is one of the few races that is not affected by any scratchings at all, with 8 to do battle. Over we go to race 6, which is the running of the Furphy Handicap. And Simon Miller's taken out his team today from the southwest, Lexington City, one of those. Adam Kisses comes out as well. Number 4, 9 Rupert's Empire, 10 Golden Fighter. So numbers 2, 4, 9 and 10. 2, 4, 9, 10 out of race 6. Race 7, the Tab Touch Betty or Bet Handicap, 1,200. 1 is out, Brave Venture, as is 10 Art of Sabrage. 8 to run there. 1 and 10 have come out. Race 8, the Bisley Workwear Cyril Flower Stakes, the listed feature. And the important scratching here of number 5, Wild Bell, along with 6, Mojo Rhythm, 8, Aztec Ruler. And the other most significant scratching is that of the Simon Miller trained filly Live to Tell. She's not going there to Bunbury either as well. So we're down to a field of 7, a pay 1-2 in race 8. The last event at 5:30, the Bunbury Cup, Saturday the 9th of March Handicap, where 7 playing Rio is the scratching with 9, El Patron, and also number 12, Set the Scene. So 9 running in the last leg of the quaddie. There are 3 scratchings from the last race of the day. So there's quite a number, a prolific amount of scratchings from this card. 12 minutes after 8 o'clock, inside running here on Tab Radio Racing and Sport. Digby Beacham and Michael Heaton in for Scotty Embry this morning on Cyril Flower Stakes Day. Our preview gets underway right after this for Top of the Ladder Gutter Cleaning.
You're listening to Inside Running, brought to you by Top of the Ladder Gutter Cleaning. Don't risk your safety, contact the professionals. topoftheladder.com.au.
Carpet stained with my red wine. I've been staring at the fire. I keep on looking at the time.
16 after 8 o'clock Saturday morning. We're coming to you from the studios of Tab Radio, Racing and Sport, here in Osborne Park, Perth. But our show goes to Bunbury, of course, with the opening event at 12:29 today on Cyril Flower Stakes Day. Rail true. And at the track is a good 4. They're expecting 36 degrees there in the southwest. We've got a field of 6 runners. Matty McDermott running in the opening event for the day. One of the few races not affected by any scratchings.
With Bonjoy the fave, hit 270s into 225, 16 into 11, Hoist the Colours, 5 for Flash Ducati, Silverback Jack is at 8, 26 Serviceman, and Wonder Weapon is 270 to $3.
Okay, so out a little in the market is Wonder Weapon as the money comes for Bonjoy. Are they the two that you're going to focus in on, Diggs, or not?
I think so, and I find this an intriguing race because you are either team data or team, I suppose, video replay and watching what happened with Wonder Weapon, because Bonjoy's figures out of that most recent victory, Michael, and look, I think we all saw it, with our own eyes, went, wow, that was remarkable, and the data out of that is electric. Yet Wonder Weapon has been a horse who is crying out for some good fortune, and had Wonder Weapon seen clear air at her most recent outing, I suspect she wins that race as well.
Been a tough watch last couple of runs for Wonder Weapon, and I've been quite keen about her prospects on both occasions, so I can't do anything but stick today with Wonder Weapon, albeit the money is very strong for Bonjoy.
100%. Best of the day for me, Wonder Weapon. There's that really good money for Bonjoy coming out of the fast run race, but gee, this man's just bursting to win a race. Wonder Weapon, she hit the line well first up this grade. She was huge, 4 wide, no cover, second in a pretty hot form race, second up, and then last start just blocked badly, and I think should have won that race clearly. Now gets Chris on, should be kept out of trouble with the draw, gets 2 kilos on Bonjoy for beating it home first up, and with that 5 kilo spread now, I think she's close to a special, Wonder Weapon.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I'm really keen about her chances this afternoon, so I'm going to lead the charge along with yourself to get us off on a winning note there, and a change of better fortune for those connections involved with Wonder Weapon over Bonjoy. The two mares, I think, can Quinella this particular race. Is there, I think that they'll run 1 and 2, but any prospect of a minor little blowout in the race? Who would it come from if there was to be one in the small field?
Perhaps a horse like Hoist the Colours, who finds the top, and we'll be fascinated to see what this track plays like today with the rail at the true hot weather. You'd think it is going to suit horses that are racing up on speed. I think the Bunbury track in recent times has played really fairly, but certainly early doors it was a track where you needed to be forward, and I'm just wondering whether that's the case again. That's why I have Hoist the Colours in for third. I've got Silverback Jack in for fourth, but thinking Wonder Weapon with even luck breaks through today. So 6, 1, 2 and 4 for me in the open.
Right, we're all pretty much across Wonder Weapon, thinking that this is the best way for punters to start the Bunbury card, and I'm certainly in agreement with that. 6 over 1, Bonjoy. Like you, I do think that if Hoist the Colours, with that residual fitness back to a 16.75, lobs in front, can't see too many others that would want to go forward there. It'll take up that role and fly the flag. So if it's in front there, it might be there for quite some time. Hoist the Colours. I'll include Flash Ducati, the local, with Michael Lane for fourth, 6, 1, 2 and 3.
Same exactor as you two gentlemen, just a slightly different bottom two. Wonder Weapon for me, best of the day, 6, 1, 4 and 3 from Bonjoy. Clearly going well, the main danger. Silverback Jack in for third, strong win last start, albeit in a weaker field. And Flash Ducati, only fair first up, but profiles pretty well second up, 6, 1, 4, 3.
So Mac's gone 6 to beat, 1, 2 and 3. Digby's gone the same try, 6, 1, 2, putting 4 in for fourth, and Mick with 6, 1, 4 and 3. Greenfield's Lodge handicap is the second over 16.75. Number 7 comes out, first leg, first quad. $7, Let's Deal. Verlaine's at $7.50. Benji's is into 5. 3, Birdie Eagle. 3.70, Gift of the Heart, and Star Chien, 7.50.
So only the 6 running here, Diggs. And Birdie Eagle is on a 7-day turnaround there. Very good run last week against the Spruker. The money's very good as well here today. It's $5.50 and continuing to tighten up into around that $3 mark. So it's generally the push. Gift of the Heart there on that second line. It was also considered, I think, here by punters where it would lead, and given the conditions, if it could hold on, that's the big if. But difficult one with a small field, I felt, this second race. And you get the return of Verlaine's as well. Star Chien didn't do much, but maybe had some excuses there after that first up victory in good order when it was produced second up to Dennis Chew. And Let's Deal is another one who probably isn't quite as well suited at the 16.75. So they've kept Benji's in the market in this small field. How did you line them up there?
Well, I think the big one here is Birdie Eagle, as you said, on the 7-day spin, but also gets a distinct weight advantage off Gift of the Heart from their most recent encounter. And Gift of the Heart, we know what we're going to get from this fella. He'll jump, he'll run. Now, can he do it at both ends over the 1675? We're about to find out. Roy Rogers is of the belief that he can. but you just know that Birdie Eagle was going to be stalking him, Michael.
100%. I was relatively keen on Birdie Eagle here as well. Was pretty unlucky 2 starts ago, 3 wide, no cover, and last start was very good. He's backed up 7 times for 4 times for a win and 2 placings. And last preparation, he actually backed up off 7 days and he won a 72-plus mile at Ascot. This is only a 66-plus mile, so I think he's well placed. In form, rock hard fit. I think he's the one to beat.
Yeah, I'm tending to agree again with you. I think we might be singing off the same song sheet here through the course of the program in quite a number of these races, but it would appear to be that is the case. Gift of the Heart leads, and depending on what level of pressure, I guess, is applied, and I can't imagine there'll be too much, should get away with a couple of nice cheap sectionals. And if the conditions are going to play it all on the warm day to these horses that are capable front runners, then you're probably looking at Gift of the Heart, but then you start to question 16.75. Will the grey get the trip?
Well, Michael had Wonder Weapon as his best of the day. I'll make Birdie Eagle my best of the day. So we're shopping early. 4 on top with an asterisk from 5. Gift of the Heart 1. Let's Deal. He's cups bound, so you would think that this one is going to top him off. Clearly, last time we saw him was in a Perth Cup, and he got to that trip very, very quickly in his campaign. 2 Verlaines. Also, you would think he's headed for black-type races this time in 4, 5, 1, 2.
Yeah, I don't mind him on the fresher side either. Verlaines, the Boulder Cup winner who ran 4th, of course, in the Kalgoorlie Cup. We haven't seen him subsequently since, but he's always very capable on the fresher side. So I'm, again, with a unanimous selection here in race 2. We're all going Birdie Eagle over 6 Gift of the Heart. I'll include, 5 Gift of the Heart. I don't know what to do with Star Sheehan. Very impressive first up in that no metro. Covered a bit of ground next time out. Down 4 kilos. Does that help there where she might be able to run into a lower end placing?
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly if, Verlaines and Let's Deal find that a little bit too slick.
Small field suits.
Yep, exactly right.
Down in weight, up in distance.
Might be 4, 5, 6 and 2 for me. I'll just have a little look at Let's Deal, who will no doubt feature prominently through the autumn in these longer middle distance races when they come around. It's 24 minutes after 8 o'clock. That's the first 2 from Bunbury.
So 4, 5, 2 and 6.
So did I not get your selections there? Or do you just like repeating them?
No, not the first time.
Sorry, pal. Okay, I won't do that again.
4, 5, 2 and 6. Birdie Eagle, Gift of the Heart, Verlaines and Star Sheehan.
All right then, thank you indeed for that. Just clarifying it. Matt, does that make your job a little easier?
Certainly does.
Good.
4, 5, 6, 2 from Mac, 4, 5, 1, 2 from Digby, 4, 5, 2 and 6 are the thoughts of Mick. Over to race number 3. This is over 1,000 metres. 2 and 5 come out, and Snippy Witch is at $2, $4.20. Tycoon Harry, $3.20. All play. Double figures the other 2. Frappuccino, 11. If I didn't have a dime, 12.
Okay, so some big amendments to a lot of the pricing here from Tab Touch when they were first, of course, put up there on Thursday, and this is another case in point here. So Snippy Witch is right in the market. Shell Bell coming out, Salt Lake Shake coming out. Takes a lot of the speed out of it. It was going to be a white-hot speed tussle, wasn't it? Now it's virtually left to Tycoon Harry.
Yeah, it is. I've just always had this impression that Tycoon Harry was a better horse with a back to follow. Where when he's been in front, he's still very raw, and he looks like he can get a little bit lost sometimes. But his maiden win when he was 3 wide, no cover, and the other day when he had a horse to follow, he just seems to keep him a little bit on the right track, and he'll lead this race now. Which, look, he could still win it, but I thought All Play wasn't all that well suited. Leading last start, was very good first up, so I'm going the way of All Play over Snippy Witch, who, rising 3.5 kilos, will have to elevate again, but clearly going well.
On the face of it, looked disappointing, I suppose, in that role, but maybe it wasn't its wheelhouse there, Diggs. And are you prepared to forgive and go back to the first up run, which looked good? And there was really good talk about how the horse was tracking going into that return appearance.
I just found this race a trap race.
Yep.
And even with Salt Lake Shake and Shell Bell coming out, I still feel that way. I just have a hard time getting a handle on how this race is going to be run. Tycoon Harry is a speed horse, but he doesn't jump all that cleanly, so that's a concern, albeit no Salt Lake Shake and no Shell Bell should enable him to muster and find the rail, and from there he's going to be awfully hard to beat. But Snippy Witch is travelling along particularly well this campaign. He's going very, very well. Yes, he rises to 60. In saying that, small field, it's only 1,000 metres, so I don't envisage that to be too much of an issue. That's the reason I've gone that way, but I won't be betting into the race.
No, it's not one of those where you have a lot of confidence. I defaulted back to All Play, I must admit, although with reservations over Snippy Witch, Tycoon Harry, which leaves you with Frappuccino and the stablemate if I didn't have a dime to run out the other pick 4. We'll make a case here at long odds for Frappuccino. A horse having its first up. Big type of a 3-year-old too. He's a brother to...
Looks a monster.
Maraschino.
Trialled well.
His first trial, you couldn't see him. The ambulance, I think, had him covered there. He just couldn't go at all. The difference between his first trial and his second trial, March into the April, was phenomenal. And then the next, that was over 950. He was in a little 400 school up the other day. And tell you what, he's a big, hulky-looking horse. So you might get a run out of Frappuccino. It mightn't be a suitable race, 1,000 metres, but maybe have a little look at him.
You know what? And I like it. I like the fact that Lou said, you know what? It's the home track. I'll whack him in. I'll accept, and he can go around and
Nice education.
Absolutely, no
exactly.
expectations. And he'll and if you're going off what you've seen at the trials, he'll be better at his second start, third start, fourth start. He looks
Agree.
like he's got some ability.
Yeah, I think he has.
Wouldn't Louis have been licking his lips with the meeting transfer to Bunbury, especially
Why
with a
wouldn't
horse
you
like
be?
that?
Why wouldn't you be? Yep.
Save him the drive, that is
Exactly.
for sure.
Yep.
Look, I'm 4, 1, 3 and 6.
1, 4, 3, 2.
4, 1, 3 and 7 all play just with that 3.5 kilo weight swing on Snippy Witch, from Snippy Witch, Tycoon Harry, and If I Didn't Have a Dime.
Sorry, I'll just correct that. 1, 4, 3, 7. My apologies, Shilbell's
Rightio,
out.
1, 4, 3, 7 there. Maddie's got out the rubber,
Sorry, Matthew.
the one that takes
Oh, that rubber, yes.
the
4,
pencil
1,
marks off your sheet,
4,
stat
1,
sheet.
4, 1, 3 and 6 from Mac. Digby 1, 4, 3 and 7 and 4. 1, 4, 3, 7 from Digby and 4, 1, 3, 7 from Mick.
Might be time for a break, I think, on that note.
Yep. It is 28 after 8. And the Joondalup TAB has moved. They're now located at the southern entry of Lakeside Shopping Centre and are open for business with big screens, dedicated sports viewing area and comfortable seating. And it's got something to offer for every lover of not just racing but sport as well. You can call in today, be in the running for a chance to win a Webbecue. That is at the new Joondalup TAB, southern entrance of Lake.
You're tuned into TAB Radio, Racing and Sport. Take TAB Radio wherever you go by listening on the Tab Touch app.
You're listening to Inside Running, brought to you by Top of the Ladder Gutter Cleaning. Don't risk your safety, contact the professionals. topoftheladder.com.au.
I got you. That's all I want. I won't forget.
Right on 8:30, 33.2 degrees in the Perth metropolitan area. The temp is starting to soar on its way to 41 today. Lots of boaties out there on the Swan River nice and early this morning. The crabs are running in the Swan River, Diggs.
Are they?
Yes.
Okay.
I did emphasise the Swan River.
Yes.
Okay. Let's have a look at the Nixon electrical plate. 1,100 metres, race 4, 2:23. Matty McDermott.
Into $9 here, Brazen Bid. We go to Elite Missile, who's into 480, 21 extra 0. Rodney O'Rodney, 51. Sir Dreamalot, 17. The top bar, 26. This'll show you is at 420. Live Lucky, 340. $5 Golden Kathleen. Luna Ballet at 61.
Well, there's been a lot of money for Brazen Bid. This was 18s in some of the early markets, may have been a touch longer, but clearly it was over the odds, and those pounced on it very quickly. It was into 10, now $9 here. I think it's still over the odds, quite frankly. But anyway, Brazen Bid's one that they have really targeted in the race. Live Lucky, this'll show you, who's back first up this afternoon. Now, we talk about horses that can tend to a bit of speed, and there are two here that we've identified without too many problems.
Exactly right. Does Live Lucky hit the rail here, Michael?
I think so. This will show you drawn wide. You'd think the plan would be handlebars down from out there.
Yeah.
Geez, you don't see them trial much better than Golden Kathleen, though, do you, as a 2-year-old?
No, trialled really well, but I maintain if they wanted to win the trial on Live Lucky, they win the trial on Live Lucky.
Yeah, it wasn't asked for a full effort. Interestingly, had earmuffs on it appeared as well, and I think both of those trials, and they come off race day, or the pre-race earmuffs perhaps come off race day, I think should lead. And there was a big spruik on this horse going into the debut effort, last preparation, and they went really quick as it turned out in that race. The figures were huge, so perhaps just did a little bit too much. But now, winkers off, earmuffs off, finding the front, I've got her the horse to beat.
And the fact that going into that initial key clean plate in mid-October off 400-metre trials.
Yep.
Has had a 400 when it showed electrifying speed, and then has had a 1,000-metre trial. So it's got a nice grounding ahead of this first up assignment.
Okay, well, she's very quick. We'll see how much ticker she has at the end of this 1100 this afternoon. I think that Stephen Miller's got a massive hand in this race. We mentioned Brazen Bid, the money that has come for this 2-year-old, and the stablemate Elite Missile, which is in the betting, of course. I thought it was a really good run. I know it was beaten 6 lengths, but gee, I like what I saw that particular day. The numbers are terrific. The winkers go on. I think this horse will come forward dramatically, and Elite Missile could be the one here that punters start to really target in on.
The first up run, or debut run, was terrific.
Absolutely.
Really, really good.
It caught me.
Would have to be figuring here in the top 3 to get a run in the Magic Millions, potentially.
No, I think any money today, and we'll be getting money, we'll get this horse in, I would think.
Okay.
Yep. So
Does that go for a lot of these horses, or you think they're...
Yeah, there's a few.
Yep.
Yeah, look, unless there's one there, and that is Extra Zero, who needs a result today to get in, but I would think that a couple of the others are all right.
Yeah, I think that we'll see Elite Missile head to Pinjarra.
Yes.
Without any
well,
problems
we spoke
at
to
all.
Brad Parnham yesterday.
Yep.
He said he's already been booked for this horse next Saturday.
Yeah, and I think he'll get there per medium of a victory down in Bunbury en route to the Magic Millions. Love the run first up. I think the Glasgow last form is going to be very, very strong. Brazen Bid's through that same form reference. They were back together there, the stablemates. Brazen Bid hit the line really well. It's been to Pinjarra with a victory, of course. And I think the speed's going to allow them to come into it because of that. And if there's a query about 1100 for 9, Live Lucky, this will show you being first up from a wide gate. Then I think the SJ Miller pair could be the 2 here that we're going to really tap into. And I'm keen to go that way. I'm 3 from 1. Then I'll put Golden Kathleen in. Clearly, she's a filly here that's trialled up terrifically well. She's one of the very first of the Leonardo da Vinci's that we've seen. And Live Lucky 4th best for me. 3, 1, 10 and 9, Michael Heaton.
9, 10, 3 and 1 for me. I'll stick with Live Lucky. Looks like she's been set for this. I like the 2 trials. I like the way she trialled. I think she'll lead, and I think they'll have to be good to get past her. So Live Lucky for me. From Golden Kathleen, super recent trial win. When she let down, she looks like a really smart 2-year-old, and we saw both of Russell Stewart's 2-year-olds perform exceptionally well last Saturday. Elite Missile, clearly a big danger still, race experience, winkers on, drawn a gate, and Brazen Bid, who had to go back and still found the line really well last start, should get a much more economical run here. 9, 10, 3 and 1. 9,
Live Lucky, thinking she hits the rail, and if that's the case, expecting her to be awfully hard to beat. From 3, Elite Missile, impossible to miss that debut run, and you would think with the addition of winkers and a better gate, he can sit handier. 10, Golden Kathleen, and 8, this will show you who is very, very quick. 9, 3, 10 and 8.
Okay, and a very good type of a horse, Elite Missile, I might add, as well. A real scopy 2-year-old, there's no doubt, and I think they'll have a bit of fun, those connections with this horse who's got clearly some real talent. So that's how we assess race number 4, Matty, before we check in on the Silverado Bunbury handicap.
3, 1, 10, 9, Darren's tips. 9, 3, 10, 8, the numbers from Digby. 9, 10, 3 and 1 from Michael. Now the 5th race, Blazing Away, is at 13. Into 10, Barra Magic. Utgard Loki is at 71. 420, Material Witness. 17, Candlelight Supper. Go Bella, 850 into 6. Autumn Rebel opened 185 before hitting 240, is now in a bit to 235 and 8 into 6, Flower in the Wind.
Okay, Autumn Rebel, they're up a bit in class this afternoon, but this is a 3-year-old colt here who is certainly trending the right way through the classes, does what he has to do, but the stable clearly have an enormous opinion of him.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those punters who have been with him previously, Michael, will be with him again, and the fact that he's drifted out to black odds is going to be enticing. I suspect the issue here with some, and maybe why he has drifted, is map related, and also it's 1675, not an 1800 metre event or beyond.
Well, I'm probably in the corner of those people you speak to a little bit. Clearly can win the race. He's won 3 of his last 4. He's the most progressive horse in the race. He'll end up the best horse in this race. But at the price differential, I think Material Witness, who is going particularly well. I couldn't really find a breeze horse, like a set-in-stone breeze horse in this race. I can just see Material Witness. He does lead at good tempos anyhow, but if he can get things on his own terms, if Autumn Rebel's last or second last and Material Witness gives a good kick, which we've seen happen plenty of times at Bunbury, I wouldn't be surprised to see him take it right up to him.
I agree. He looks a horse who is going to be able to dictate here. And as Michael says, he doesn't go there and stack them up. He goes along at a good tempo, and he'll give that kick into the corner and around the corner. And one thing with Autumn Rebel, he is really good, and he can sustain us. It just takes a while to get to top gear. He just the wheels turn a bit, and then when he's in full flow, he's electric to watch. But he just sort of takes him a second or two to hit top gear.
Material Witness, in dictating the tempo and the terms of this race, gets Maddie Derrick services again this afternoon. She's developing an understanding of this horse quite clearly, and she's in white-hot form at the moment. Congratulations to her on
100%.
her achievement there. She went within an ace of riding 6 of the 7 winners.
Yeah, had a big day, didn't she?
On Wednesday. It was a phenomenal day.
Yeah, were her only 6 rides as well.
Yeah,
terrific.
So other than the first, she absolutely cleaned up at Belmont Park there on Wednesday. So well done there to her, and can continue that form quite clearly in the 5th event. But I've got to go with the quality in the class of Autumn Rebel. I'm going to lean that way. I do think the Material Witness will take a fair bit of running down in this, and I think Go Bella's the other one, getting a nice bit of weight relief that can run into the trifecta. Flower in the win, there's money around there for her. Had an excuse, does not win out of turn quite clearly, but I thought maybe her. Barramagic, if you've got Material Witness somewhere there and you're thinking, you must have Barramagic not too far away either. So it's another to include in the exotics if you're looking for further numbers. But I'll be 7, 4, 6, 8, Michael.
Similar numbers, different order. 4, 7, 8 and 6. Material Witness still 53.5 kilos. I think he can dictate and cause a mini upset from Autumn Rebel. Clearly really hard to beat. He's a progressive type. Flower in the Wind hasn't had much luck this preparation. Held up again last start. And Go Bella has been really good her last couple. 4, 7, 8, 6.
And 6.
7, 4, 2 and 8 for me. Autumn Rebel on top from Material Witness, your leader. 2 Barramagic and 8 Flower in the Wind from the low draw. 7, 4, 2 and 8.
Okay, the 7. Certainly popular there with the boys here in that race, the 5th event of the day. We'll have a look at the Furphy handicap, Matt, after this.
So Michael, 4, 7, 8, 6. Digby, 7, 4, 2, 8. Max gone 7, 4, 6 and 8. In the 6th event, Paddy's Flyers at $4.80, down to Bayzid $4.60. Ruler Rocket is at $3.80. Final Authority $5.50. Red Inferno at 15. Ginneman at 4, and down to Norma's Stars, who's at 26.
Okay, well, Lexington City's come out of the race. Rupert's Empire out there important. The stablemates, Madam Kisses included there, in Golden Fighter. So a pay, a 1, 2. How do you see this one all unfolding, Michael?
Hard and fast.
Yeah, well, Ginnivan's going to go quickly. He'll jump out of barrier 3 now, and Bayzid, of course, the other that's got plenty of early toe.
Yeah, 100%. You'd think those two would be settling 1, 2. Ginnivan just looks a different horse when he finds the rail, doesn't he? He's drawn inside of Bayzid here, which I think's a big, big win. He gave a good kick last start, and he split Sapphire Street, who ran 3rd in the stakes race. Angel Undercover has since won again. So it's pretty good form for a race of this nature. I originally had Lexington City on top, scratched, had Madam Kisses speaking on top after that.
Scratched. My top too.
Scratched as well.
I got obliterated.
And I am conscious of the fact that Bayzid is likely to put a lot of pressure on Ginnivan, but I like him when he can find a race where he can lead, and his form from last start, I'll go his way, Diggs.
I can understand why. What did you make of the first up run of Ruler Rocket?
I thought he was only fair, but he does have ability. I think he'd been improved a second up.
I wouldn't be sacking him. His record second up is very, very good.
Low draw today, good
Clearly,
speed.
yeah,
First time he's raced locally.
Yeah, I lent that way just because...
Snagged in behind them and getting a nice toe.
And I don't think Troy's going to have to, wait for a run, because they'll probably stretch out sufficiently where he can just ease into the clear air and shortly after straightening and make a run at the leaders, and those leaders are likely to be Ginnivan and Bayzid. I thought maybe he represented the class.
Bringing his best form there, his most competitive form, I think that he is as well. I'm a little bit, but without confidence, Ginnivan. Ruler Rocket, though, I think is the one that can come forward considerably there, and there had been money as well there for Ruler Rocket from Brucey Watkins' yard. I'm going to have a little look at Paddy's Flying first up as well.
Trial.
I think he gets into this nicely.
Campaign last time was a ripper, wasn't it?
He's a 1,000-metre horse. He's in a 1,000-metre race.
Yep.
And he's first up as well. And Final Authority did beat Bayzid home last start when it gave it a head start, gunned it down. It's out to $11. I think it's the value there if you want to find one more. I'm going to query Bayzid. If it can't find the fence, I don't know if it can. With Ginnivan involved in the race, I think it could be, maybe exposed. So 8-5-1-6.
5 on top for me. Ruler Rocket from 8. Ginnivan thinking he holds up. 1, Paddy's flying, very wary of this horse. It was a really good prep last time in. And 7, Red Inferno, who I think is capable of matching up in this calibre of opposition. 5, 8, 1 and 7.
8, 5, 1 and 3 for me. Ginnivan leading, kicking and hopefully holding on from Ruler Rocket, who should get the camp on them, will be dangerous late. Paddy's Flying's trial was enormous. No visors on either by the looks. And Bayzid, who should be on speed and be kicking away from the rest of the field, can hang on for 4th. 8, 5, 1 and 3.
Michael Heaton's comments there in regards to race number 6. Matt McDermott's got the recap, and then we'll head off to a break for top of the ladder gutter cleaning on Inside Running. On its way to 34 degrees at 8:43 this morning.
And 8-5-1-3, those numbers from Michael. 5-8-1-7 Digby's thoughts. Darren's gone 8 to beat 5, 1 and 6.
TAB Radio, the home of racing and sports. Before too long, the one that you're loving will wish that he never met you. Before too long.
Before too long, we'll have to vacate these studios and head south for Bunbury with a 12:29 start for Cyril Flower Stakes Day there, transferred from Ascot, of course, earlier this week. So let's get to race number 7 without any further ado. And 1 Brave Venture, 10 Art of Sabrage are the scratchings there. Have a look at the market for us there on Tab Touch. Matty McDermott.
Into $6 Trade War. Starring Night is now $4.80, $9.50 for Prize Pursuit. Antique Miss is now $3.40, $7 for Cable Boy. Land of Valens at $26, $5.50 for Honeydew. The Ladies of Amp is now $10.
Okay, do you have a firm opinion on this leg of the quaddie?
No. I think Honeydew's going really well. I'm convinced she's going well. The trial was terrific. And I know she's been unplaced. She ran 6th first up, 7th second up, but the figures would suggest she's in really good order. And I like the fact that now she gets to 1,200 metres.
And drawn a gate as well.
Yeah.
She was really good first up. Second up, she was okay, but I think looking for that 1,200 metres now, she's drawn a gate, should be able to land just behind them. And you'd think third up, she usually improves into her campaigns as well. She should just be just about ready.
I think she's ready. I hope she's ready because that's the way I'm going.
Yeah, I have got her that low down the order in my pick 4. She just made the final leg of my quartet selections in the race there. I think your father's horse has got a very good chance. I think he's going well. Cable Boy.
He's going well.
He's flying.
Yeah, he is.
I think this is the type of race there. He got to 9.50. He's back into 7 now, and I reckon that he's tracking along the right way here. Certainly, if you're betting on an each-way basis.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
On an overly big field, I think Cable Boy is as good a chance as any in the race, certainly from a value perspective at least.
I actually went the way of Antique Miss, so it's differing opinions everywhere. I think you'll find that with this race. It is fairly open, but she's showing some good versatility now, Antique Miss, settling positions, distances. She breezed and beat Madame Magic 2 starts ago, who I think is a nice enough mare. Ran home in good late splits to win last start and Saturday level. Drops a kilo. I think it's the map horse of the race, whichever way this race is run, and from there, I think she's the horse to beat. So I'll kick off 5, 8, 6 and 3. Antique Miss from Honeydew should be just about be ready. Cable Boy's flying at the moment. Didn't have the best of runs 2 starts ago, but was really good last start. Prior to that, he was a Saturday winner. And Starring Night to round out the quartet. 1,200 at this stage of his prep. Probably not ideal, but she'll get a lovely run. 5, 8, 6, 3.
Same 4 numbers as Michael. Different order, though. I am with Honeydew. 8 on top from 5, Antique Miss. You're spot on. She looks like she's going to get a gun run there, and she is in form. 6, Cable Boy, going well, and 3, Starring Night. 8, 5, 6, 3.
Yeah, 6 for me, Cable Boy. I thought the value from 5, Antique Miss. I am going to include Michael Lane's Trade War. I think he's going well enough there. You're looking at that form, it's going to hold up, I'm sure. The Cold Chisel, in particular, the Esprit Garçon form. And I could have either had Honeydew or Starring Night there, and the coin fell Honeydew's favour. 6, 5, 2 and 8. Race number 7.
Michael, 5, 8, 6, 3. Digby, 8, 5, 6, 3. Darren is 6, 5, 2 and 8. Speaking of 8, we're up to race 8 at 6 minutes to 5. The Bisley Workwear Cyril Flowers Stakes. Listed race over 1,200, minus numbers 5, 6, 8, 9. Hot Z's at $8 with Tab Touch now. $5.50 goes to Walks, and $3.10 My Bella May. 3 Real Danger down to Titan Blinders now at 8. Down to Mood Swings, who's now $7.50, and Saint Torio now $23.
We don't get the attraction of this wonderful mare, Wild Bell, who's emerging. We don't get the attraction of a fully franked filly of last season in Live to Tell.
Or Aztec Ruler, or Mojo Rhythm. Now, Mojo Rhythm may well have found this a bit short, but you're talking a Group 3 horse in the spring, and Aztec Ruler, the best version of Aztec Ruler is really exciting. So 4 headline acts come out of a race, which on paper, when acceptances came through, you thought, this is a really good edition of the Cyril Flower. So it's a little bit depleted. Well, it's a lot depleted, but don't get me wrong there. But in saying that, we do have a last start black type winner in Real Danger going around, and My Bella May has been running in Group 1s. So it's still a good race, but certainly a fair bit of shine has come off it.
Yeah, 100%. It's a little bit deflating. I was really keen on Wild Bell's chances again, but not to be. And then obviously Live to Tell's super exciting filly. You'd think both of those horses could well end up in the quokka in a couple of months' time.
Absolutely.
So it would have been great to see them go around today. But I actually really liked Goes Two Walks' last start effort. I thought he found the line better than anything. He gets 2 kilos on Real Danger. I think can track her in the run. Also gets a half kilo on her for beating her in the on Rivals from the Summer Scorcher earlier this preparation. So I think he's going along pretty well. And at $5.50 in the small field, I'm happy enough to go the Ghost's way. He's won 11 races now.
Massive changes to the market here with those scratching. So you're losing out a lot in percentage.
Yep.
Yeah, my top 2 have come out quite clearly. I'm going to stick with the stakes winning form of Real Danger.
I thought she was very good the other day.
So
she jumped from a wide gate. She tough, eyeballed Man Crush, and that's not easy to do, and had to sort of work hard to find a position outside the breeze. I think it was Pans Down who was sort of kicking up. Yep. Yeah, did it at both ends. So here, it is a completely different race shape, and in saying that, I mean it's a far more beneficial race profile for Real Danger as opposed to what we saw in the Scenic Blast. They'll be positive. She'll ride the speed. She's rock hard fit. She's got a gate, and she's had 3 goes this campaign, and all have been very, very good runs, Darren.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Real Danger with all of these scratchings here. My Bella May, of course, did run 3rd in that race and ran a very, very commendable 5th in the Winterbottom behind Overpass. And, of course, if you spin back 12 months, it was on this day that My Bella May won the Cyril Flower Stakes, albeit it was at headquarters. So she hasn't won one since. She's got the winkers back on, and significantly, Big Red, every win has been with the winkers.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's a significant change.
How do you reckon she's going?
Well, I was with her last start, and she loomed, looked the winner, and
She didn't quit, though.
Just holding her own at the moment, I think.
She sort of ground to the line, which she wasn't as... And I thought she was probably entitled to get over or get closer to Real Danger, given the run.
She's not... It sounds silly. She'll probably come out and win today, but she's just not that same horse that we saw 12 months ago, 14 months ago.
That killer instinct there.
Like when she was flying, she was like, you thought, wow, we're seeing the emergence of a potential star here.
And often they can get to that level, and that's where they sort of remain, isn't it? They can't get beyond it. So
I mean, you look at her form on paper, it's outstanding for a race of this nature.
It is.
Less than 3.5 lengths Overpass in a Winterbottom, less than 2.5 Snowdome, Prince of Wales, ran a length and a half of Hot Z in the Colonel Reeves, gets a good weight swing on him. So it's all serviceable, but I've still slid her down the order.
What about Hot Z? Like he's got weight, yes, he's got that gate. That doesn't worry him.
No.
I've got him in my numbers just because you know what you're going to get from him.
he's a beauty.
He is a ripper, absolute ripper.
He's in the mix with all of these scratchings. I think it changes the dynamic for him, where he's going to lob, and that even if he's tonking into a 3 deep in a smaller field there, he seems to love it doing it that way, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's tough. Yeah.
So 62, and I'm not too concerned with the weight. Big competitive horse that he is. Let's lock them in.
2, 4, 3 and 1. I'll go Goes Two Walks, nearly twice the price of Real Danger, and I thought was really good last start. Gets 2 kilos on her, so I'll go the Ghost's way from Real Danger. Clearly the horse to beat. She's super honest mare. She'll be on speed. My Bella May with the winkers going back on, and Hot Z cannot leave him out. 2-4-3-1.
Digby?
4-3-1-2 for me, Darren. Real danger on top from my Bellarmé. 1 hot Z and 2 goes 2 walks. My only knock on this horse is the 1200 metre in his record, but he is going well. 4-3-1-2.
Okay, you can replicate those numbers for me as well there, Matt. It is 4-3-1-2.
All right, so Big Red 2, 4, 3 and 1, and both Darren and Digby 4, 3, 1 and 2. Race 9 is at 5:30, Bunbury Cup on Saturday 9th of March. Handicap 1400 metres, 7, 9, 12 are not running. 850 Blazing Tycoon from double figures, 5 for Budgerigar. XL Train is into 3, 950 Recalled, Keridwin at 550. 15 Talangata down to He's Got Wings, who's at 10, down to Abu at 19 and Dazzling Dane at 12.
Don't think there are many winning chances in the last of the day, but I think there might be a bit of value.
Okay,
I'm
go on.
speculating on one. I love, as much as I do, 1400 for Stayers first up.
Recalled.
And I'm tending to think here that with a bit of support coming for Recalled, a little bit there, albeit with the scratching of playing Rio,
Yep.
I like the trial. I thought it was very, very good. And I wouldn't be at all surprised, given its previous first-up record, with the form that the McAulay stable is in, that this horse at 950 does not run a mighty race first up, and it might be my value play in the last.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
going to
going
go
well.
for Recall.
Yeah, it's going really well. Going really, really well.
So hopefully a bit of value there, but having said that, enormous respect for horses like XL Train. Blazing Tycoon I thought was a bit stiff last time around, but has a few obstacles to overcome here. Budgerigar as well, ticking over nicely. Hoof on the till, maybe to a lesser degree. Keridwin, the local. So they're the ones that I've pretty much identified.
Is the 1400 key for XL Train here, Michael?
It looks like he's been crying out for it, absolutely. I think last start, although it was only a Mount Barker win, 60.5, crying out for 1400, drops 2. He should be much better suited today, I would have thought. But in saying that, I've actually tipped the stablemate, Budgerigar, on top, 2-1-3-5. Budgerigar's just had a really consistent campaign. His only unplaced effort was when he was 3 deep, no cover the trip in a fast run race. Beat home the stablemate a couple of starts ago. I thought he was just held up fleetingly last start when the winner was in the clear. Drops a kilo, maps lovely now, and steps back to 1400 metres and he's each way. So 2 for me, Budgerigar. From 1, Blazing Tycoon. He's going super. His last 4 starts have been in higher grade. And he's now backs up off 7 days where he's finished in the top 2 or top 3 at 6 of his 8 runs. Drops in class. I think he can be in the finish at a price. XL Train looks like he's getting out to his right trip. And Keridwin, a bit unlucky so far this prep, but I think can get a nice run here. 2-1-3-5.
2, 1, 3 and 5. I'm going to make this an each way special.
Okay.
Recalled second in the Kalgoorlie Cup, straight to the paddock there. Obviously the distance races through the autumn are going to be there, right in this horse's spotlight. And I just love the fact that stayers do pull out the good one fresh at 1400 more often than not. You've got a stable flying, got a lovely draw, you've got a good rider on board. 950 is appealing. I'm getting bullish in the last. So it's 4, 3, 1, 2 for me.
Okay, I'm with XL Train. I just think he's looking for the 1400. He gets here today, 4th up. Chris Parnham elects to stick with him, and I thought that win the other day, albeit Agent J was disappointing yesterday, I grant you that, but I think he gets a lovely run. So 3 on top from 4, Recalled for the reasons that you've outlined, Darren. 2, Budgerigar, a stablemate, 2, XL Train, and 1, Blazing Tycoon. 3, 4, 2 and 1 in the last.
So Michael has selected 2 ahead of 1, 3 and 5. Digby 3, 4, 2 and 1. Darren's gone the way of 4 ahead of 3, 1 and 2.
Okay, thank you, Matty. Best bets time from Bunbury.
I am thinking Birdie Eagle race 2, number 4 is awfully hard to beat, and I'm pretty keen also Real Danger. I think she can win again in the Cyril Flower down there, the feature. Michael?
Just the one for me, race 1, number 6, Get It Early, Wonder Weapon.
I like your thinking there too, Big Red. Wonder Weapons amongst my best for the day. Keen Real Danger and the Cyril Flower for those reasons that you've touched upon. And coming home in the last at the value for mine at $9.50, you've got to have something on Recalled. If nothing less than a horse to put in the book and keep following through the autumn. Okay, that's our look at today's racing.
Well.
Diggs.
You said we'd be off before 9. Well done.
Well, we've got to Hightail and get on to the Forest Highway and now get to Bunbury, a little further than going to Ascot, it might be argued. So thanks to Matty McDermott, as always, on the other side of the desk there, just keeping everything in control here for us, taking a look through the markets from Tab Touch as well. and you'll have his company for a good part of the morning here today.
No, 1 hour and I'm out.
And you're out, of course, not counting.
Well, you had the trots last night as well.
I did.
You called, yes.
Yeah.
You're a worker, aren't you?
Yes.
Toiling away,
Gotta make a
grafting.
crust
Got a big
somehow.
family to feed, mate.
Hey, Darren.
Yeah.
We didn't get off by 9.
We're off. Bye.
There you go. We won the bet. You're
Yes,
still here.
thank you.
You're listening to Inside Running, brought to you by Top of the Ladder Gutter Cleaning. Don't risk your safety, contact the professionals. topoftheladder.com.au